Tonight on The Real Hustle, we reveal how crossing the road can leave you out of pocket.
That cost me about £120.
Money, some credit cards, driver's license.
Counterfeit cash earns our hustlers a packet.
Excuse me guys, would you be interested in making a little money?
Yeah. And a brush with the law ruins this man's day.
I'm very sorry.
You get back my back. You get back my back. I have somewhere to go.
This is The Real Hustle. We're going to uncover the secrets behind the most popular scams being carried out by con artists in Britain today. Our real hustlers are Alex, a confidence trickster, Jess, a sexy swindler, and Paul, the scam artist. They've been travelling the UK to demonstrate to our hidden cameras exactly how the cons work. All the people in this show have been hustled for real, and after being given their money back, they agreed that the footage could be shown so that you can avoid being ripped off by the same scams.
Pickpockets love crowds, and what better place to find one than at a busy set of traffic lights?
London's Piccadilly Circus is always crowded, and with crowds come plenty of wallets, purses, music players, phones and cameras, all designed to fit easily into pockets and bags. But for the hustlers, they're just as easily taken out again. This is their most intricate pickpocket scam yet, the three-way lift. Our hustlers are in position either side of a busy crossing. Jess and Alex are stationed on the left of the junction. Paul is operating alone on the right. And when the lights go green, they all cross with the rest of the pedestrians. Watch carefully. And in less than 30 seconds, they're up by £800 in wallets and phones. No one saw them do it, but you can. Remember that Jess and Alex are positioned together on the left. The girl with the dark hair in front of them is the target. While Jess acts as a human shield to prevent anyone nearby seeing, Alex makes swift work of stealing this woman's phone. So far, they've got a phone worth £150. Not bad, but there's a lot more going on here. Let's rewind back to the start. Jess is also working with Paul, who's on the other side. Paul has identified his mark, the girl to his left. He's after the contents of her pocket. Another phone. For the moment, she's blissfully unaware, but Paul still has to get rid of the stolen property quickly, and that's where Jess comes in. As they cross, he deftly hands off the goods to his accomplice. The stolen phone joins Alex's in Jess's bag, and she melts into the crowd before anything's been missed. So far, they've lifted belongings worth £270. But there was also one more, much bigger steal going on. Let's rewind for the third and final lift. Back in first positions, Alex identifies the third victim. The man wearing the lilac shirt stood to Paul's right. As Paul puts a mobile phone into Jess's bag, Alex is unusually clumsy.
Oh, I'm so sorry, you're right.
As he bangs into the mark, Alex dips the man's wallet from his jacket, immediately passes it off to Paul, and the three-way lift is complete. So that's 2 mobile phones and a wallet full of cash and credit cards in one beautifully choreographed steal. Let's see it all at once. The hustlers are around 800 pounds up, and the trio of pedestrians have fallen foul of an audacious, synchronised three-handed hustle, the three-way lift.
Yeah, my phone's missing.
There's nothing there. I used to have a wallet in there. Money, some credit cards, driver's license. It came directly at me, bumped straight into me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And it was only after I completed crossing the road I thought, you know, there's something wrong here. I've lost my wallet.
This is an example of pickpockets working together to steal more effectively. In this case, they use the crowd. They know people are going to gather as they wait to cross the road. This allows them to make direct contact with their victims and their property. So they go for the easy targets, open bags, wallets in the back pocket, things like that. If they want to get something that's difficult, then they'll work together again, moving in concert to trap someone between them, steal something from the inside pocket, and then pass it to the other pickpocket. So the person who makes a steal actually ends clean. Safest pocket is the front, unless you're wearing something loose-fitting with the pocket directly at the side, in which case probably an inside pocket with a zipper.
All pockets are vulnerable. All pockets are vulnerable. People can steal from any pocket. The key to it is just to be aware of your belongings. Just because you have it in your front pocket and you think, oh, well, nothing goes from there. The moment you forget about it, that's it, it can be gone.
There's no such thing as easy money, and every good deal has a catch. But for some reason, people still think they can get something for nothing.
Paul is feeling generous and wants to share his wealth with those in need, students. He's come to a pub near the university, and inside he's about to ruin someone's day with an offer that's too good to miss. This is counterfeit cash. Paul's supposed to be meeting someone in the pub.
You guys called Ed?
And it looks like he's been stood up. He takes a call that can't fail to be heard by the two lads sitting close by.
Look, I'm here now. Well, you know how this works, mate. You know, I brought it with me.
They overhear that Paul was due to meet someone, but they're running late.
No, I'm not going to wait around for a while. I can't. But if you want it, you should have been here. All right.
Once he's got their attention, he approaches their table with the offer of a lifetime.
Excuse me, guys. Would you be interested in making a little money?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be meeting somebody here to give him something, but he's not coming. I'd like to get rid of it before I go.
It sounds like Paul has an offer the students may be interested in. He grabs himself a stool and joins them.
I'm Rob. You boys students, eh?
Yeah.
Do me a favour, put it under there and just have a little look at what's in there. Count how much is in there. That's cash, brand new. It hasn't been robbed, it hasn't been stolen, it hasn't been taken out of a machine or anything. I'm not going to tell you where it comes from. We get shot of it, right, at 1/5 the value. So there's like 500 of them. So if you guys are interested in buying it, 100 quid for 500 quid.
Paul offers them a wad of notes for just £100. And he also offers them some advice.
The last one. The only thing I'll tell you is don't spend it all in one place, you know, 100 here, 100 there.
But the deal sounds too good to be true, and the students are suspicious.
Is the deal with what?
Well, you can look at it. I mean, it's as real as real. In fact, do me a favour, right? Get yourselves another drink. Get me a whiskey.
To prove the money is kosher, Paul suggests the students buy a drink with a £20 note from the envelope.
Anything you want.
It's a smart move. Students never say no to a free drink, and they're beginning to be persuaded. This is the big test. The barmaid checks the note, and it passes.
Did she look at it twice? And you kept the change, I saw that. You see that? You kept the change. These are brand new. There's definitely 500 in there, 480 now. I'm in here every Friday afternoon. You bring 100, I bring you 5.
How much have you got?
In a move to speed things up, Paul explains that he's in a hurry.
The only thing is, I do have a train coming soon.
It works. The students pool their money and agree to the deal.
this is standard cash.
Well, I don't trust you, but I like to check it before we...
We never know. Like, this,
Yeah.
and is there any way you tell us to avoid like plague?
No. I mean, just don't turn up with 500 and brand new 20s, right? Spread it about a bit. Give it to your mates. Get as much change as you can, and keep it safe. If a guy comes in here called Eddie, don't mention my name.
After that helpful advice, it's time for Paul to go.
But I don't know, you never think this kind of happens, really. But yeah, you're right anyway, you don't spend all at once. When do we ever? But what do we?
They start to open the envelope,
I want to double test.
making sure to keep it out of sight under the table, just in case.
Give me a nacho.
They can't believe it. The envelope's full of newspaper. And they've just increased their student debt by £100. So how did our con man pull this one off? To find out, we have to go back to Paul's arrival at the pub. He wasn't alone.
Well, you find the suckers and I'll hang back. Give me a call. I'll give you a buzz. Yep.
Alex enters the pub first to identify a likely mark. He spots a couple of lads that fit the bill and sits at the next table. Outside, Paul receives his cue and heads into the pub. He spies Alex and makes contact with the marks by pretending he's been stood up. He sits down, making sure that Alex is directly behind him.
Just have a little look at what's in there. 500, yeah?
Yeah. As Paul discusses the deal, the marks can't believe their luck.
100 quid for 500 quid.
It sounds like an opportunity too good to miss, and it would be if you weren't dealing with a hustler. Earlier in the day, Paul prepped two identical envelopes. They're exactly the same apart from what's inside. One of them contains £500 in real, crisp £20 notes, and the other has a wad of totally worthless newspaper. But the marks have no idea this second envelope even exists. Back in the pub, all the marks see is easy money.
Simple as that. 100 quid.
When Paul taps on the table, it's a signal to alert Alex that Paul is ready to make his move and triggers the crucial moment in the scam.
The only thing is, I do have a train coming soon.
Let's see that again. This is the moment the real money is taken out of play. Paul is now holding the envelope containing nothing more than newspaper cuttings.
My pleasure. All right. Okay.
The transaction is complete, and Paul makes a quick exit, never to return, shortly followed by Alex. The marks only realise they've been hustled when they open the envelope.
He said, look in the envelope, we had £500 in the envelope in 20s. And said, would you like to buy this for 100? I'm quite sort of baffled by this.
In fact, do me a favour, right? Get yourselves another drink. Get me a whiskey.
So he said, take 20 to the bar, buy a drink. Obviously now we know it's real £20.
These are brand new. There's definitely 500 in there, 480 now.
He seals this envelope at the end and gives it to you as if, here you go, here's your present. But obviously he's just swapped it with the real one.
Simple as that. 100 quid.
This is £100 worth of newspaper, and repress this out of your memory.
The clever thing about this scam is that the mark is forced to put himself into a position that he just can't get out of. When he opens up an envelope and finds that it's full of newspaper, who's he going to call? Can't call the police unless you want to be arrested, because he was trying to buy counterfeit money. Now, I never actually say that it's counterfeit money. I'm very careful about what I say, but he knows what he's getting into because he thinks of it himself, and that's what makes this a unique scam.
Scams with counterfeit currency are common. They don't get reported to the police by the very nature that people are entering into a criminal conspiracy. But what people can do if they're conned out of their money, they can ring Crime Stoppers and impart that information anonymously, and therefore the police might be able to do something about it.
Still to come on The Real Hustle. It's a case of mistaken identity for our bogus policeman.
Right,
very
you go
sorry.
Get back my bag. You get back my bag. I have somewhere to go.
And the boys bring down the house when they visit a casino. The real hustlers are going to show you how to win some free drinks off your mates by using proposition bets on some unsuspecting customers in this bar. The proposition bet suckers you in as it's a bet on an event or outcome that you believe can only go one way. And it always does go one way, the hustler's way. So watch and learn. Alex, Jess and Paul have come to this bar with one intention, to con the locals. And Jess has spotted a group of likely lads.
So we just said that you're quite strong.
Yes, I would.
Which arm is stronger than the other
Right.
one? That's your strongest arm.
Yeah.
So your left arm's your weakest one and your right arm's your strongest one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what would you do if I said to you that I could put something in your left hand, your weaker hand, that you could lift up, but you couldn't do it with your right hand? So you couldn't hold it with your stronger hand, but you could hold it with your weaker hand.
That would be amazing, don't you think so?
Yeah? Well, I'll tell you what.
So Jess is betting the mark that there's something that she could put in one of his hands that he can't hold with the other. An irresistible proposition.
Okay.
Okay.
Two witnesses.
Put your hands out like that. So this is your left hand right here, your weaker hand.
This is my left hand.
Yeah, it's
okay.
your weak hand. That elbow just there. Bend it. There you go. Now try holding that with your right hand.
Okay, so I owe you a drink then.
Yes, you do owe me a drink. I'll have a dry white wine, please.
Oh my
You're still holding your hand.
If someone bets you that they can put something in one hand that you can't hold with the other, in other words your elbow, watch out, they might just be a hustler.
If the police ask you to do something, you should always comply. But what happens if they're not really the police?
Alex and Paul have come to a busy high street lined with shops stacked high with pricey electrical goods.
Tell you what, I'll go around the corner, see if anyone's coming out with anything worth having.
They're posing as undercover police and are going to use their authority to take advantage of a punter who's just made an expensive purchase.
Okay, whoever spots one first buys lunch.
This is known as extreme social compliance. Before they hit the street, Alex and Paul put together a couple of fake police IDs. By no means perfect, but if they flash them quickly they might be convincing enough, especially if they dress the part. Alex is staking out a technology shop. He's looking for someone buying a valuable item. This lad's just spent a couple of £100, and Alex has clocked him. As the mark leaves the shop, Paul is in position around the corner. Alex radios ahead to give a description and follows closely behind.
Excuse me, sir. Could you stand over here, please? Please. Hi. Could I ask what you have inside the bag, please? How did you pay for that? Cash. You match the description of a suspect we have who's been shoplifting down this street. Do you have anything else on you? No. Do you have a receipt for this item?
Yeah, hello.
Can I look inside the bag?
Can I have a look at the receipt, sir?
This is some joke.
Things are going to plan. He's handed over the goods and the receipt, if reluctantly.
We just have somebody going around the stores and lifting stuff, so we just need to check all these things out.
So what does the person describe like?
Wearing a hooded top.
Wearing a jacket.
You're wearing a hooded top here, sir.
Put it all in the back?
Yeah, but did the person...
If you stay here with my
jacket?
colleague, I'll be back in 1 second.
Where are you going?
Don't worry, he's going to check it with the store.
No, where are you going?
Alex says he must confirm the sale of the goods back at the shop, but in fact, he just keeps on going.
So you're wasting my time. What am
I
getting out
understand
of you
that.
but wasting my time?
I understand that, but there are a team of people shoplifting here.
Having made his way to safety, Alex radios through to Paul to explain that they've stopped the wrong guy.
Show me a badge.
Yeah, that's a story check that on left is belonging with the store manager along with his receipt. He can go there and pick it up now.
Everything's fine. Okay, you can go back and pick up your goods. I'm going to hold location. All right, you can go up and pick up your goods from the store. Yotech, Is that correct?
Tell him to come back with my bag.
Go and get your stuff, now.
Tell him to come here with my bag. I didn't tell him.
He
to
is following the person we're looking for.
You get back my bag. I have somewhere to go, and you look blatantly just walk.
Sir, if you have a problem, please call the police station. Go and get your stuff now. I'm sorry to bother you. Okay, you're clearly innocent, but you did match the description.
I did not match the description.
All right.
I'm wearing a jacket.
You know where to find us. On you go.
I'm wearing a jacket.
Please hurry up. Guy's kicking off.
Back in the shop, the Mark still believes that he was stopped by genuine police officers and has gone to retrieve his goods.
Who brought back what? What do you mean?
Hard drive.
You came in to buy a hard drive?
Yeah, just now. And what? And police just brought it in to make sure it wasn't stolen. No one's coming here with that.
The reality is slowly dawning on our Mark. He's given his £200 hard drive to a couple of complete strangers, both of whom are long gone.
What'd you get?
That's good. Great hard drive.
All right. Next time, nick a brolly.
I'll try.
Just as a police officer, there's been a lot of theft around here.
Excuse me, sir. Could you stand over here, please? Please.
And after, when I asked him to show me his badge again, show me a badge.
Hi.
Well, I looked at it good enough to see that it had Metropolitan Police on it. Very convincing.
We're all hardwired to behave in a certain way in certain situations. When confronted with a police officer, most of us will try to be helpful and do what we're told. What makes this scam work is that we do everything people would expect from a police officer. We have the badge, we have the demeanour, we say the right things. They're happy to comply.
Normally the police officer, the person and the purchasers will all stay together. You will all go, if there's any problem with you and what you've been doing in a shop, you'll normally all go back to the shop for the matter to be sorted out. That's you, the police officer and your purchasers.
Gambling's about big money and good luck, and it's a prime target for hustlers. We've set up a casino night and invited a bunch of real people to come along and play. Alex and Paul are here to put their casino hustling skills to the test. And we've got our cameras in position so we don't miss a thing. It's the casino dice scams. Although it looks complicated, the rules are quite simple. The players can bet on a wide range of possible thrown combinations. But if they roll a 7 or 11 on the first throw, they win instantly. And tonight, Alex and Paul are on a winning streak. But knowing our boys, they're probably not playing by the casino's rules. They've turned the odds to their favour. But how?
There are many ways to make a die favourable for a cheater. Here we have 2 dice. They look pretty normal, but if I throw them, I get a 7. Now in craps, that would mean I would win on the first roll. If I get an 11, I'd win 2. Oh, I got an 11. And there's another 7.
Can I have a look at those?
And there's another 7. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, what we've got here is a classic case of misspotted dice. So look, if I put these in front of the mirror here, you'll see that one of them has got just the number 5 on it, on all 6 sides. And the other one only has the numbers 2 and 6. Therefore, however many times you roll these, you'll only get a 7 or an 11, which is a winning throw in craps.
All these dice have been used to scam casinos in different ways. Missed spots, bad shapes, and some are even loaded with weights.
And this is a completely clear die, but if you spin it, you can tell it just isn't right.
That's just not right. Wobbly.
Back in the casino, Alex and Paul are scamming the game using loaded dice. They're winning big and the house hasn't noticed. But how do they get their own dice on the table?
I want to show you what I did at the live game that we had. All I did was reach over, pick up the dice, blow on them for good luck, and just throw them. And in that simple action, I managed to switch dice.
Let's see that again at the table. It's Alex's turn as shooter. He takes the loaded dice out of his pocket and then picks up the real dice off the table. As he blows on them for good luck, he makes the switch and guarantees himself a winning roll.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these white dice just to show you how this works. So these are my loaded dice. They start off in my pocket. I hide them in my hand like this. And when I'm ready, I will reach forward, grab the dice, blow on them, and that simple process, they switched. Now I've got the red dice and my loaded dice are on the table, making me a lot of money.
Of course, there are many ways to switch dice, and this is probably one of the fastest. Let's say we had a couple of dice on the table. I've got another 2 dice which I have palmed. When I make my choice, I smack them on the table like that and make a switch. That's called the palm switch, and is one of the fastest switches in any kind of sleight of hand. And this is how it works. If I do it with the white dice, you get a better idea. So these are palmed. These are passed to me. I pick 2, and I've got the white dice on the table, and I make my throw. It's as fast as that.
Let's take another look at that during the game. Paul takes the loaded dice from his pocket and palms them in his hand. Then, when he picks up the fair dice, he knocks on the table and lets the fake ones fall from his hand. Now he can bet knowing he won't lose.
If you look at the craps table, there is a bet on it. It's called playing the field. That's when the player wins if he throws a 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11 and a 12. Now, if you manage to control one of the cubes with this throw, your chances of winning that bet increase by quite a high margin. Now, it takes 2 people to do this, and very, very, very precise timing.
To pull off this scam, Alex and Paul must work as a team, and it happens so fast that in the casino nobody spots a thing. But how does it work?
Paul actually gives the cue as I'm shaking the dice. He gives the cue where he wants to bet. I knock twice. I let the dice, my die go, but I keep back 1. And Paul spins out a die from under his money.
Let's see that again.
Laisse sur base, Steve, pas gros jeu. Les jeux sont démarqués, rien ne va plus.
Yes!
Well, triple pay. Triple
Yeah.
pay. Come on, let's see it.
The hustle is all about timing and teamwork. And guarantees our boys will win their bets. It goes to prove that when our hustlers are in town, the house doesn't always win. But what about the players at the same table who weren't so lucky?
Don't know how they do it, but could be potluck, could be skill, I don't know.
They'd lose a little bit and then all of a sudden they'd like a big win.
Yeah. As far as I saw, they were just playing it just like I was, but they seemed to be winning a bit more than me.
Be aware of what's going on around you and don't take strangers at face value. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
On the way next, we get our own back as we go conning the con men.